Have you ever asked yourself, who are the real owners of America? Today, America is known as a land of freedom, opportunity, and yes, a land of immigrants. But the truth is, if we go back far enough, the real children of this land were the Native Americans. They lived here long before European ships crossed the ocean. They hunted, they prayed, they raised families, and they honored the earth. But when the settlers arrived, everything changed. The natives were pushed away, tricked, and betrayed. Their lands were taken, their homes were burned, and their people were slaughtered. Yet in the middle of this darkness rose warriors, men whose courage and brilliance shook the might of an empire. These were not just fighters. They were guardians of their land, symbols of resistance and voices of dignity. Today, let me take you through the stories of 5 of the most feared Native American warriors, men whose names America could never forget. And along the way, let their courage remind us of something powerful. When life pushes you down, you rise. When others try to silence you, you roar. And when the world thinks you are defeated, you fight back with even greater fire. First, Geronimo. He never wanted war. He was willing to live in peace until tragedy struck. His mother, his wife, and his children were brutally killed by Mexican soldiers. That pain turned into fire, and Geronimo swore he would never stop fighting until justice was served. For almost 30 years, Geronimo led raids across Mexico and the United States. He became a ghost in the desert, impossible to catch, always one step ahead. Imagine this: only 38 of his men once slipped away from the pursuit of over 8,000 soldiers. That's not luck. That's brilliance, courage, and the spirit of a man who refused to bow down. Near the end, he surrendered. But on his deathbed, he whispered words that echo through history. "I should never have surrendered. I should have fought until I was the last man standing." His regret reminds us all, never give up too soon. If you believe in your cause, keep fighting no matter how dark the road becomes. Second, Crazy Horse. A warrior whose very name struck fear. Crazy Horse was not only a fighter, but also a leader who carried the spirit of his people. He was known for his vision, his fearlessness, and his genius on the battlefield. Once he used himself as bait to draw 80 American soldiers into a trap. The moment the soldiers thought they had him, his warriors surrounded them and none survived. His most legendary victory came at the Battle of Little Bighorn, where his warriors crushed General Custer's forces, a defeat so devastating that America would remember it forever. But Crazy Horse's story is not just about battle. It is about sacrifice. He knew that freedom is never given, it must be taken. And though he was betrayed and killed in 1877, his name lives forever as a reminder that a true warrior never dies. His spirit becomes eternal. Third, Cochise, known as the Napoleon of the Apache. At first, Cochise was a friend to settlers. He believed in peace, in coexistence. But betrayal changed him. Wrongly accused, his people tortured, his friends murdered, Cochise turned his pain into fire. For over a decade, he waged war with unmatched brilliance. His strategies baffled the U.S. Army. His raids shook their confidence, and his courage became legend. Even his enemies called him the Napoleon of the Apache because of his genius in war. In the end, Cochise accepted peace, but not because he was weak. He did it to ensure survival for his people. Sometimes true strength is not about endless war, it is about knowing when to fight and when to heal. From him we learn, life will test you with betrayal, but your response will define who you are. Don't let pain break you. Let it shape you into something stronger. Fourth, Sitting Bull. Not just a warrior, but a chief, a leader, and a spiritual guide. His people trusted him not only with their safety, but with their very spirit. His words could stir courage into broken hearts, and his presence inspired unity. It was under Sitting Bull's vision that the native forces won the Battle of Little Bighorn. General George Custer, one of America's proudest commanders, was defeated. That victory echoed across the land, proving that the native spirit could never be crushed. Even when captured, Sitting Bull never bowed. He lived, he resisted, and he stood tall. His legacy teaches us this: true leadership is not about power. It is about giving hope when hope is almost gone. And finally, Opechancanough, one of the earliest, fiercest defenders of native land. He was relentless. He believed that if his people were to survive, they must strike fear into the hearts of the settlers. In one attack, his forces killed over 350 settlers in a single day. For nearly a decade, he continued to lead raids, refusing to give in, refusing to compromise. Even at 90 years old, he still fought, still commanded, still resisted. His age did not weaken him. His spirit kept him alive. Eventually, he was captured and executed. But think about this. Even in his old age, he chose to fight for the dignity of his people. That is what it means to live with purpose. His life teaches us that no matter how old, how tired, or how beaten you feel, if your cause is just, your fire can never be extinguished. These 5 warriors, Geronimo, Crazy Horse, Cochise, Sitting Bull, and Opechancanough, were more than men. They were symbols. They remind us that freedom is never free, that dignity is worth fighting for, and that when you are cornered, when the world wants to break you, you can choose to rise and fight back. So let their voices echo inside you. Never surrender too soon. Never betray your own spirit. And never forget, when you have something worth fighting for, you fight with everything you have. Because history does not remember those who gave up. History remembers the warriors.